Hello friends and neighbors, welcome to Gentry Vintage. I'm Josh, your host. I hope this video finds you well. Well, it is Cobb Monday. Not Cobb Tuesday, but it's Cobb Monday. On second thought, I might go ahead and post this on Tuesday so it can be posted for Cobb Tuesday. I am smoking this here Cobb something. It's a Cobb. More than likely Missouri Meerschaum, I would assume, whatever Cobb it is. But this was a gift, and it came from Smokin' Fred when I won his giveaway. And a little something extra he threw in, and I very much appreciate that. And in it is Carter Hall, of course. Well, if you hear some strange noises in the background, they are already masonry people or whatever is already working on the house across the street that the tree fell on. They were over there doing some masonry work when I came home from work. So I guess they're trying to, if nothing else, they're probably just trying to secure everything, but it was messed up pretty bad. Beautiful afternoon. I'm not sure if it's 76 or 86. When I asked the phone, Siri says it's about 76, and the Alexa in the house is telling me it's 86. So I don't know. At the moment, it kind of feels like it's about 86 because there's not really any wind blowing. But regardless, it's nice. So I was talking with some co-workers at work today. You know, I talk about random stuff at work just to pass the time. And I don't even remember what brought it up, but I asked a co-worker, a new guy at work, I asked him if he knew who Carl Perkins was. We were talking about music or something, I don't even remember, but I asked him if he knew who Carl Perkins was, or no. He said, yeah. He said, I know who that is, and then he said, blue suede shoes, and I said, yeah. And the guy that was working next to him looks up and he says, who's Carl Perkins? I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, who's that? So I tried to educate him a little bit, and I started asking a few other people around work if they knew who he was, just to see, you know, how many people really didn't know. And yeah, I only found one other person that knew who Carl Perkins was, and that was a buddy of mine at work that we both love music, and sometimes we like to music trivia each other. But yeah, it's kind of disturbing how many people have no idea who Carl Perkins is. If you don't know who Carl Perkins is, I highly recommend you go look him up. One of the guys I asked today, I really thought he would know because he's in his late 50s, and I thought, you know, surely he knows who Carl Perkins is. And he didn't, but he did give me a compliment though. I said, dude, you really don't know who Carl Perkins is? He said, no. He said, look, it's not my fault that you're like mentally 20 or 30 years ahead of me, and he's in his late 50s. He said, it's not my fault that mentally you're 20 or 30 years ahead of me. I said, thank you. He said, you and your old school knowledge and your 1920s hats that you wear in here all the time. Apparently, he really thinks my hats came from the 1920s. They're in darn good shape if they did. Trying to get this Cobb to break in a little better. It's still got a kind of just a funky taste to it. And but we're getting there. It's getting there. I don't know, it really might be 86 out here. It's a little muggy. Got some storms rolling in tomorrow, or overnight tomorrow, something like that. But it really could be 86. It's kind of warm, but I still like it. Take it any day over 20. So, when does collecting become hoarding? I've been on a kick lately of kind of sorting through a lot of my, I don't want to say crap because it's not crap, but I don't really want to say junk either because it's not junk. I've been sorting through a lot of my stuff I have collected over the years. You know, I've really lately been trying to focus on a few certain things that I know are of great interest to me. Things I'm passionate about. I've been trying to put more focus into those. And not really just collect so much stuff. Me and my dad always have had this thing about if it's cheap and it's cool, bring it home. And unfortunately, right now, my stepmom's having to deal with that. And there's a lot of things out in the shop at their house, and as well as in the house, that she's been trying to sort through and get rid of. It's just stuff that's not any type of sentimental value, and really not really any monetary value, just stuff that's just accumulated. And some of the stuff she's tried to kind of push it off on me. I told her I don't need it. Some of it's kind of cool and whatever, but I don't need it. But my dad's acquiring habits increased over the last couple years of his life, and he got to where they would go to yard sales and flea markets and antique stores and so forth, and if it was something he thought was neat and it was cheap, it didn't matter what it was, he was bringing it home. And now my stepmom, like I said, is just kind of overwhelmed with just junk. They her and my stepsister did have a yard sale a couple weeks ago to try to get rid of some of that stuff, but like I said, it's not really anything that's worth anything, and it's not really anything that's sentimental. So I have had a past habit of being the same way. As the wife will say, "Why do you need that?" And I'm like, "It's cheap, you know." That's not an excuse. But you know, I've been sorting through a lot of stuff, and I've eBayed some stuff and sold some other stuff online here and there, or whatever. And, stuff that's not of any interest or monetary value, whatever. I've thrown away a bunch of stuff that I've kept just because. But yeah, I feel like I've kind of reached a point in my life. I don't know if it's age or just thinking about, you know, if something happened to me, what the wife would have to deal with. But I'm really trying to narrow it down to focusing on certain hobbies or whatever that I focus, you know. For one, my record collecting, you know, pipe stuff and car, you know, automotive stuff. But I've always collected old car parts of various things, but not near as much nowadays because I ended up with a lot of stuff that I had no use for. For example, I sold on eBay a month or so ago. Um, I had a pair of late 60s, early 70s Datsun truck turn signal lenses that were beautiful condition. And for whatever reason, I was holding on to them because they were just in great shape and whatever. Um, will I ever own another late 60s, early 70s Datsun truck? I don't know. Maybe one day. But am I going to hold on to them for another 20 years to find out? There's really no sense in it. Um, there's people out there that are probably looking for those parts, such as the guy that bought them, that have probably been searching and for a nice set, and here I am hoarding them. But there was a time, like I said, I'd get a hold of car parts, especially if I had a certain vehicle. I would just, if I found parts or a parts car that was cheap, I would just get everything I could. Um, Several years ago, I used to have a lot of 60s and 70s Ford trucks, and sometimes I would just buy any one I could get a hold of. If they were cheap, rusted, it didn't matter. I would get every one I could get a hold of. Sometimes I'd strip a lot of the good parts off, hoard them in the shop, and then scrap the rest. And when we ended up moving to Kentucky, I was still living with my dad and my stepmom at the time. When we moved to Kentucky, I lost so much stuff. I had accumulated so much stuff in a 40 by 60 shop, that different car parts and so forth. A lot of it I sold. Some of it I just had to scrap. Other stuff came with us to Kentucky. And then when I moved to in Louisville, when I moved to Louisville, a lot of the stuff either got trashed, scrapped, or sold in a yard sale when my dad's health started declining. But I can't really be mad about that because I had a stockpile of crap. It wasn't crap to me, but I had a stockpile of stuff in my parents' shop that I wasn't down there doing anything with. I wasn't attempting to move it, and it was kind of just in the way. So it's aggravating because it was a lot of money lost of stuff that I could have, sold. But did I really need how many was it? I think I had like 13, a stack of, I think 13 71, 72 Cadillac hubcaps. Did I really need those? I had sold my last Ford truck back several years ago, and I still had all kinds of trim pieces and grill inserts and marker lights, tail lights, just all kinds of miscellaneous stuff. Did I really need that stuff? I'd love to have another old Ford truck one day, 60s, 70s, but I didn't really need all that stuff. Matter of fact, last week I just sold a set of early 70s Ford truck dog dish hubcaps that's been sitting out here in the shop. I've held on to them since I had the truck they came off of, and they were sitting out here in the shop, and I said, there's probably some out there that'd like to have these that would love to put them on their truck. And sure enough, that's what I found. Found a guy over in Lexington that was looking for a nice set, and I shipped them out to him last week. But I'm trying to get to a point where I don't hang on to so much stuff that I'm not going to do anything with. Like I said, I'm trying to focus more on the stuff I know I'm going to do something with. Like I said, my record stuff, my pipe stuff. I'm not going to say I'm not going to end up with more car-related stuff, but I used to have a bunch of old sales brochures for many different cars and stuff, and I even got rid of a lot of that stuff. I have a few other things that I collect in smaller quantities. Um, Something, stuff that I enjoy, but I just maybe add a piece to the collection every once in a while. But I've talked before about your interest changing over the years as far as things that you enjoy or collect, and I still have a few. I don't even know how many right now, but I still have some model cars. But I used to have so many model cars, there was no way to display them all. And I got to the point where I said they're just sitting in a closet or an attic or whatever. There's really no sense in having them. So I narrowed that down to majority of the model cars I have now are displayed in my man cave room or whatever. Um, there's a curio cabinet in the hallway that's got a few in it, but most of the model cars I have now are displayed. There are a couple in the boxes in the top of a closet, but most of them are displayed now. There was just no reason to have dozens and dozens and dozens that I wasn't doing anything with. It's easy with any hobby or interest to go from a collector to a hoarder. Now, what really defines a hoarder versus a collector, I don't know. There's a fine line there, I think. Anyway, I could go on forever probably on this subject, but I don't want to bore you, so I'll probably just cut her off here. Sound like the mail truck may be pulling up, which is interesting because we seem to only get mail about twice a week or so now, and it's Monday, so maybe that'll be our one out of two this week or something. Who knows? Anywho, I appreciate you sticking with me if you're still there. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all, and we'll try to get back on here sometime this week and we get another video out. As I mentioned before, the wife's having surgery on Wednesday, so I may be away for a couple of days, and who knows, I might get time to throw another video up, but we'll just kind of see how things go. So keep the wife in your prayers, and that everything goes well, and I'm sure it will, but just keep her in your thoughts and prayers if you would. But other than that, until next time, I wish blessings for all and lots of luck to you and yours.